Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hey, I got back from being on the road for a week and nothing worked. My webcam didn't even work. There was some sort of weird update, like nothing literally didn't work. So I had to reinstall software for the webcam and I don't know. I guess Daddy shouldn't leave. Oh, hey, by the way, before we get going, good morning, by the way. Before we get going, at least 2 people in the chat while we were setting things up said, hey, it's only a small lot size. I only trade small lot sizes. Well, whoa. Okay. How many people here think it's a good idea to cut your own arm off? Or how many people here think that it's painful, it's messy, it certainly doesn't lead to desirable results in the future, right? Oh, but cutting your own thumb off, that's cool. Yeah, it's only a small part of your body. I mean, look, so you cut your own thumb off. You're like, it's just a small part of my body. Not a big deal. It's not like you cut my leg off, right? Yeah, dude, I don't care about lot size. So right before we get going, before I run the B-roll and everything like that, we have to understand our goal here. The raison d'etre of being a trader is consistent returns and low volatility. Throwing down a mediocre trade, justifying it because it's just a small thing and, oh, I'm just learning. Those are all the wrong reasons. You're trying to learn patience and discipline. And you're trying to produce consistent results with low risk and low volatility. So a small lot size is no justification. You either have the patience to wait for a good setup or you're broke. That's it. Let's go. Never mad at the fact he's corrupt like a senator. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Hey, let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money. You cannot afford to lose. And of course, everything I say is stupid, wrong, and you could lose your fortune. So, whatever. I'm here to teach. Don't look for trading ideas from me. Okay? It's your money. You need to learn how to protect your family and your friends and your loved ones. And by family, friends, and loved ones, I mean your money. Nobody loves you more than your money. Yeah. So anyways, hey. My name is Wayne. I've been on the road for a while. I hope you missed me. But actually, I've been around that whole time. I was around quite a bit, right? It's good. It's because you're important to me. I believe in you. We have something so unbelievably powerful and important, and that's our relationship and our community and our the energy that we give each other, the focus we give each other. It's worth more than you can possibly imagine. And I've been doing this a very long time, and there's a reason that I put a lot of effort into it. It's extremely important to have like-minded, focused people around you, because it keeps you at a higher level than you can on your own, really. If you've ever been in sports, and particularly the first thing that I think of is being in track, and you practice and practice and practice, and you're in track, and you practice and practice and practice and practice, and you run and run and run and run and run. You get really, really good. And you know your times, right? And you know your times if you can shave off a second here on this lap. Oh, that was such a good day. And then you get in a race, and there's 3 people that run just a little bit faster. And somehow, you stick with the pack. They make you run a little bit faster. Better than you're able to do on your own, right? So that's the most important thing that we have in front of us. So thank you for being a subscriber of Forex.Today. And let's thank Traders Way for being a sponsor of our community. They make this possible. So thank you, Traders Way. So the way that you pay it back and show Traders Way that you appreciate this community, please visit tradersway.com. Open up a demo account, download MT4, check out the execution speed when you place a trade, look at the spreads, you'll find that they're very competitive. Look at the swaps. Some of the swaps, especially on the exotics, are like double and triple other brokers. It's amazing. So tradersway.com, open up an account. And of course, when you're ready to trade real money, give them the opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect. All right? So yeah, we do have a lot to do today in the markets. I have also a lot to do today. I have 2 papers to write, and I think I have some reading, but I'm going to have to skim. I think I'm going to have to skim today. Oh, look at the webcam. Yeah, see, it's all weird. At least I got it working now. Look at that. Why is it? It's weird. It's like fisheye today. The office looks terrible in the fisheye. Anyways, that's kind of interesting. I don't know why the camera's doing that. What else? Well, let's get going here. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to start with the calendar. Never mad at the fact he's corrupt like a senator. Okay, Forex.Today. Forex.Today. Yeah, I got some good whiskey. Oh yeah, don't you worry about me. Oh, have you guys all answered these surveys? Your biggest challenge as a Forex trader, part 1. Your biggest challenge as a Forex trader, part 2. And your biggest challenge as a trader, Forex trader, part 3. I'm going to utilize your responses this week in developing my next training course for you guys. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so please make sure you do that. So either on YouTube, pull those up. Looks like this is probably the easier way to find it. Hey, that's me yesterday. Look at that. Cool. All right, so what was I going to do? Oh, calendar. Yeah, that's Wayne at 90 miles an hour. Hang on, Bubba. Hang on. Wayne at 90. All right. Yeah. All right. So this week. Okay. This is stuff that's already happened. Yada, 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 yada. ISM manufacturing. It's somewhere between 7 and 8% of the entire U.S. economy. Probably not that important. Okay. Anyways. Australian interest rate decision. Yep. Maybe you should be on the Aussie now. And, right? And you should have an opinion. And if you don't have an opinion, this is an epiphany. Okay? You should have an opinion of what's going to happen before it happens. In fact, most people will have an opinion whether they'll raise interest rates or not interest rates, or cut interest rates or not cut interest rates, or not do anything but have something to say after. All of this will impact what happens after in the news. So, which means if you have a good idea of what you want to do today, you should have been on it last week. Jammed your stop at break even, you're up 75 pips already, and then the news comes out. Okay? That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is wait for after it to happen and then trade the volatility. But it's not the best way, but it is one way. Now, the dumb way of doing it, of course, is guessing and throwing down a trade just before or just seconds after. What's the major reason why that's a dumb way to trade it? Does anyone know? Have you ever come across, this used to be a big thing, I don't know, back when I used to see it. So I don't know, 10 years ago, there were lots of services that would get you to sign up and pay money because they could tell you the news just 1 second before it came out. They could tell you, sell it, Or it would come out and it would come out faster than anybody and they would say, sell it. You have no bias. Yep. So therefore, pretty stupid right off the bat. Gambling. No, but the sales pitch was we will know before anybody else what the result will be. The number will be bad, so you'll sell it before everyone else has sold it. What's really wrong with even just the logic, even if they could do it? The spread's gonna jump. It'll double or triple in most cases. So imagine your pound dollar suddenly is 15 pips instead of 3 or whatever it is, right? And just for a few moments and then it dries down. But you throw down a trade and because you threw it down so early, the market is thin because no one in the right mind is trading. So you trade and you're already negative 15. If you just waited 2 minutes, it would be back to normal because the rest of the normal market's trading. So it just doesn't actually make much sense. And it's very reactionary. And by the way, nobody has the results before it comes out. So don't even think like that. So anyways, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. That's not what we do. Okay? We're professionals. This is our business. I hope you've started that mantra. Every day you talk to yourself and you remind yourself, this is a business, right? You're not a businessman. You're a businessman. And you act that way. So anyways, you should have already planned this out last week and probably in the trade already. But, right? At least start thinking about it now. So this is coming up in just a few hours. About 12 hours-ish. Not quite, but anyways. Cool. So that's a good opportunity to make money. It will create volatility. And the market is worried because they've been cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. And their largest trading partner is suddenly in trouble. So it ain't getting any better. How much has demand decreased in China in the last couple of weeks? While you think of your answer, let me focus that because it's almost an impossible question to answer. How much has oil imports into China? So China has lots of oil and has lots of coal, but it gets to the point where the supply chain is so stretched because they need so much of it that they can't get their own coal out of the ground fast enough. Okay? For example, right? They can't get their own oil out of the ground and through the supply chain fast enough. Or they want clean coal instead of their dirty coal and all that kind of stuff, right? Yes, look at you guys. Look at Jim and Tova, exactly right. So, in the last couple of weeks, oil import demand from China has dropped 20%. Okay, that's just Chinese imports of oil, okay? All right, so think of that. And Australia is a natural resource producer, correct? Everybody say aye. Aye! Great. YouTube's too slow for stuff like that, right? So if there's a massive demand decrease, remember, we did this. Do you guys remember doing this like 2 weeks ago? I showed you the exogenous demand shock. And I shifted the demand curve. And I said this was really rare. I mean, we were already talking about this 2 weeks ago. Isn't that interesting? So anyways, now imagine this demand is not just shifting, not a shift along the demand curve, but shifting the entire demand curve. This might be happening for more than oil, but iron ore and coal and copper from Chile and silver and nickel from Canada and all of this stuff, right? Think of it as industrial demand, right? So if industry is slowing, demand for inputs into the industry will fall too, right? So then you have to think, well, who are the players in that industrial complex? And I say complex because it makes you sound smarter when you're at a cocktail party. You're like, yeah, I'm playing the industrial complex right now. You know, the exogenous demand shock that we've had, I'm making a kill it. And people go, damn, I don't know what he just said, but he's so smart and pretty too. So anyways, who's going to be hurt by this? And probably Canada and probably Australia and probably Brazil and probably Chile. And okay, go through it. All right. Now, the interesting thing is, will Chinese people still need to eat pork? Yeah, probably. So I would separate foodstuffs and focus on the industrial complex input trade. Wow. Okay, cool. So there you go. Get on it. Tuesday. Kiwi jobs. Okay. Very cool. Okay. Governor Lowe's going to speak. You got 2 Asian sessions to trade right off the bat, today and tomorrow. Bada bing, bada boom. Wednesday. ADP, another dumb prediction, but you got a scalp. So if you are a scalper and you love the high volatility event-driven trade, great, trade it. Okay, be there. We'll be there together, right? So that's good. Now, ISM non-manufacturing, I wish they would just put ISM services. This is awesome. I love ISM services. Love it. Okay, so there's a trade there. A big trade. High volatility, event-driven strategy. Bank of Canada, we've got a speech going there. And Aussie trade balance. So why don't you put this down and say, to this week you will study Australia big time. Just get in on it, okay? You could start by studying the central bank and the current policy it has had over, let's say, the last year, and then read the statement and try to figure out where they are going, where we've been and where we're going. So you don't really care about the interest rate decision per se, you want the statement. So this is, before that, go to the website, figure out what the trend has been, and they'll tell you why, and then try to figure out where they think they're going. Okay, understand? The trade's up in here. Okay, great. Then their trading partners, their friends, their cousins have a big employment release. That kind of ties in. You could say, I don't know, it kind of ties in. Then over here, import, export. Okay, well, we just talked about how Australia feeds the industrial complex of the world, in particular China. So we know they're an exporting nation. How much are they exporting? What's the trend in exports? Okay? That's what trade balance is, guys. Okay? Find the, right? Now, imports should be fairly steady. Okay? Fairly steady. If the imports are falling, it's because they're broke. Okay? You notice that poor countries typically eat their own dog food? They don't import much from other countries because they probably can't afford it, right? But anyways, so how much are they importing? Well, if their household income is falling because they don't have jobs and stuff like that, they're buying, close to home, so to speak. Okay, and exports, well, that kind of like a measure of jobs almost, right? Like, I don't know, but if this is an exporting economy, their currency should be doing a particular kind of thing, okay? And it's related to this kind of thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to start learning these things, okay? Cool. Anyways, so we move on.com, and then the head of the central bank speaks again. There's a monetary policy statement. Fantastic. Okay? Like, you have a big opportunity to specialize this week. Fundamentally, just learn. You don't have to trade the Aussie dollar, but jump in and start learning. Okay? unless you want to delay your destiny and your greatness further. I'm only asking you to work. Okay? So, my life, today, I will have to do a lot of reading. I have to write 8 pages worth of writing. Takes how many hours per page, right? And then I have over 6 hours of classes today that I have to attend live. I have to prepare for a negotiation, so on and so forth. Anyways, like I have a lot, okay? So if you are not spending, I don't know, 12 hours of study today on in your Forex trading, if you're not spending 12 hours today, I'm out hustling you. That's it. I'm out hustling you. That's all I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying. If you're learning Forex, you should be doing that at 12 hours a day just to keep up with what I'm doing, because I'm learning things at Harvard. Cool. And by the way, I've had to spend hours and hours and hours on the road also preparing for today's education. So this is, right, I'm just explaining the commitment, and I think you can do it too, or you should be doing it, or you should do something, right? You see what I mean? So Daniel says, I don't even know what to learn. I just told you. Okay? You should spend the rest of the entire day going through the RBA website and looking at things like the RBA, the interest rate decision that comes out. How did they get to the decision? Where were we in the past? Because a lot of those questions are going to be answered here later in the week. The governor's going to come out and tell you. So why don't you study today where Australia has been and what the policy has been at the central bank? Read their statement after the interest rate decision and say, okay, what are they saying in the statement, which is all pre-written, so they're going to be, and then at the end of the day, he's going to be out there sort of, I don't know if I'd call it ad-libbing, but just out there talking, right? Like, figure it out. You see what I mean? No, it's right. So Mr. Highfield says even the learning curve is too steep. No, it isn't. Go to the RBA website, read everything. Okay? That's it. You might not, you won't understand everything, so what? Get in the game. 90% of it is people not doing it. That's it. Just do it and develop a habit. You're the kind of trader that will spend hours. Okay? How many people here have worked with Ryan at FX Bootcamp Live? Okay? When I said things like that, Ryan did it. He's that kind of guy. I'm like, go spend 10 hours on the RBA website. Read everything you possibly can. Take notes on all the things you don't understand, and then research them. Boom. He would do it. No questions asked, like a bulldog. Just attack it. That's what it takes. Okay, anyways. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. Lots to do on the RBA today. Import-export data out of China. Ooh, Russian interest rate decision. That's interesting. 6.25, huh? That's nice. The way I look at it is 625%. So that's nice. And then America, America, right? NFP, baby. And CAD, right? CAD, Canadian jobs. So double jobs. Lots and lots and lots of awesomeness this week. Right, Reb? Price, the news is priced in. What I'm asking you to do is figure out the future because the future hasn't been priced in. People have been pricing in where we are now and the interest rate that's coming out this evening. What you should be looking at is the statement and the speech and any sort of written release. And where's the other one? Anyways, right? And you're thinking the next 3 and 6 months ahead. Do you understand? And by the way, Reb, technical pros is the way you say it. They will tell you that fundamentals don't matter. So maybe that's the message that they're giving you. Okay? That fundamentals don't matter because it's already priced in. In that case, you need to stop listening to that person. It's because they don't know. It's really honestly because they don't know. Okay? It's magic to them. But how many times, Reb, have you seen me predict things like 2, 3, 4, 5 months in advance? A technical analyst has a lot of trouble doing that because they don't know the future. They just don't know the future, so all they have is the past. So I want to be clear here. I love technical analysis. I love it. I love scalping. I love spot trading and swing trading and carry trading and position trading. All of it. I love it all. I'm not hating on anyone's technical analysis. In fact, I love seeing how other people do their things because if they're making money, then I should be able to look at it and understand it and say, oh, well, I wouldn't use that tool. I'd use this tool or that tool. Or that's interesting how your approach is there. That's really cool. Great. I love everything about technical analysis. When I see a chart, it excites me. Okay? Then, right, you must have a solid understanding of fundamental analysis, macroeconomics, central banking policy, because that is how you do it. So there's no way I would ever recommend to not know something. Okay? Fundamental analysis of economic data on global economies. How could that not be important to foreign exchange trading? Like, how could you even justify that would make sense? That a professional foreign exchange trader would not know how to analyze economic data in the countries that they're trading, that they're in the economies that they're trading. It's insanity. It just doesn't make any sense to say it's all just the googly lines on our charts and that's all you need. And they're like, well, why would you say that? Oh, everything's already priced in. Like, it just cannot be that. Okay? That's a real cop-out. Okay? That's a huge cop-out. It makes no sense. All right. Cool. So, and by the way, this goes all the way back to the very, 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 very first Forex Trading Expo back in, I don't know, 2005 or something. And I was one of the keynote speakers. I was on the home page, you know, I was one of the 6 people they put pictures of. And there's never been a foreign exchange conference before, so that was the first one. So I'd never met traders, and anyways, there were more famous people that had been around other markets, and there was a panel discussion, and they were arguing over this: technicals or fundamentals, which ones work better. And they were arguing, and all this was going on. I'm looking around, and everyone's an amateur trader, And I raised my hand. I'm standing at the back. I hid my speaker badge. I hid it. And I said, look, you're talking to a room of amateur traders. Wouldn't it be, wouldn't it be important to recommend that people understand both technical and fundamental analysis so that they can understand not just the how, but the why? And they both agreed, and the room went quiet, like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then they went back to the arguing because that was more exciting. Okay? Yeah, so anyways, plan ahead. Okay? Plan ahead. Okay? That's all I'm saying. This is your business. You need to become an expert. An expert would know. I think you would agree with that. Okay? All right. So anyways, let's do some technicals. La 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 la. So where am I? I'm on the news trade. So let's start with let's start with commodities. Okay. We are still on the buying price for oil. So I know we've been talking about that oil prices and oil demand have dropped very significantly. That's fine. Now we have to look at things like if I were a little girl and I were to carry trade, no, if I were a bull, that is still a price to consider. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying that's what I would do. I'm saying if you were a bull, that is a legitimate price. So now you should be on a smaller time frame looking for a reversal if you were a bull. And so how would you plan that out? Well, that's why technical analysis is so great. Okay, you would look at this and say, well, let's do this in pink, that you'd like to see some version of this, right? And if you don't get that, you don't trade. Done. Your week's done if you're a bull. Okay? So, if you're a bear, okay, that's where you want to be based on swing trading, based on price action. That is legit as well because you get this kind of thing. Okay? Down, 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 up, up, sell. Okay? Down, 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 up, up, sell. Okay? And then your plan on that would be the new lower low. And if you get that and you drop below, let's say you go down to 50, you would do the same thing. You drag that across for the future up, up. Okay? By the way, I had a dream. Have a dream! I would like to stand on stage in front of all of you. Okay? It's in front of the Forex.Today FX Bootcamp community. And I thought, I want to say down, 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 down. And then I'd have the other half of the audience say up, up, and the other half say sell. Wouldn't that be great? Then I go down, 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 down. And then over here, up, up. And then over there, sell. And then I go down, 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 down. Up, up, sell. And we just do that for like a minute. Oh, my. I thought, oh, wouldn't that be great? That would be so awesome. Because I'm thinking about like, we have to start doing live stuff. I realize I don't think lack of knowledge for most of you is in regards to technical and fundamental analysis is holding you back. I think probably most of you are good enough, at least to begin your journey in technical analysis. I think you want to learn more about fundamentals, where you can take the course and I'll do more on fundamentals and expand the course and all that kind of stuff. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But I think we need to work we need to work on this a lot more. And I don't know if I can do that over a webinar. I'm starting to think you probably can't. So I'd like to do like true boot camps around the world, meet you, right? And just that idea, can you imagine just the whole group doing that? Oh, what an amazing vision. I can almost hear it. Where did you go, Reb? Reb said it paid $5K for the seminar and that's all. Where was that? All right. Oh, yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I don't know if you've ever done a conference before. Back when I worked in the nonprofit industry, we did so many conferences. It was amazing, actually. The reason for that is when you have people passionate about a mission, working really, really hard day in and day in and day in, and they don't get paid any money, motivation and energy is critical to a nonprofit organization, right? So we did conferences, we did local conferences, we did sub-regional conferences, we did regional conferences, and we did national conferences. And then in between, we had conferences just for the local presidents, and then we did, and then we did retreats, and then we did national level stuff, and just like it's nonstop, right? So I know conferences from the inside, not from attending, but running, right? I've attended almost no conferences. I've run tons. And you can't believe how expensive it is. Okay? So like a keg of beer at the grocery store is what? $110. You got to pay like $500. And then there's some union that has to come in and charge $300 to put the tap in. You're like, dude, seriously, right? Right? So the hotels are outrageously expensive. Another way of looking at it, like, you guys know I used to do all the trade shows, right? Back before I had kids. I used to do all the trade shows. I spent a couple of $100,000 a year going to these trade shows. And of course, none of the trade shows I ever made like even a penny on. Like literally no revenue, but I spent hundreds of thousands doing it, right? And some of the reasons why is you buy a booth and you have a custom made booth. And I had giant booths, like giant, not just the 10-footer. I had the giant one. So anyways, but let's just say you go out and buy a booth and have it all custom printed. Great. And then you got to ship it not to the conference, but to the shipping warehouse. So there's money for that. Then they charge you for holding it in the warehouse. Great. And then there's a day when the old whatever conference was before you, that's all been taken out. And now the new conference has to come in and they have to set that up. Right? So that's why it has to be pre-stored in a warehouse. You don't ship it to the show, you ship it to the warehouse. Then suddenly, so they're charging money for that. And then get this. So let's say we're doing the one at the Marriott Marquis, Times Square, New York City. I did that one many, many, many times. Great. So the booth is picked up from the warehouse, sent to the city. That costs money. It costs money for one union to lift it out of the warehouse and a different one to put it onto the truck. I kid you not. It's two unions. There's two fees. Then the truck driver drives New York City. There's a fee for that. But it's Times Square. And there's a fee because of the extra level of traffic in Times Square. They're charged a fee by the city, so now you're charged a fee. The truck, right? I'm not joking about this. The truck backs up and a union comes in and unloads the truck. You got to pay for that. They take it up to the trade show floor. And I am not kidding. You might not believe me. But another union takes it from the elevator onto the hotel trade show floor. They take it to your booth and drop it. There you go. So now you got to show up and set up your booth or have a staff and stuff, right? And as you're setting up your booth, someone shows up and says, hey, do you want electricity for your booth? You're like, yeah, I got lights and stuff. Of course I need electricity, right? It's like $300 a day to have an extension cord. You better bring your own power strip. And it's a different union, right? This is just to get set up. Now imagine you're buying food and all this. You have to use their caterers. There's different services, everything. So you get like rice and beans and some chicken. And it's like $27 a plate, right? So I'm just saying conferences are expensive, right? And Reb says, and it's got to be insured and all this kind of stuff. And then you got to pack it up and all go home and you got to pay all these different things again. It's ridiculous. Okay? It's ridiculous. So conferences are expensive. I've never even made $1, not profit, even made $1 by doing a conference. But it's a great way to reach out and change people's lives and getting me talk to you, right? So imagine it was, 50 of us in a hotel. We'll keep it small on purpose so we don't have to pay all these stupid fees. And what if it was just us? Okay? And we can work together with our laptops open. So I've done that a lot in the past, and it's powerful. Powerful. But yeah, if it's $1,000, that's because it's going to cost $999. Okay? So anyways. All right, cool. Let's start here. La la la. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is set up to be a bull. Okay. So you'll see a bull needs to drop down and then take it up. The problem with that is we're at resistance, right? So a bear might want to look for a sell, but you can see we're a long ways away from a sell. Okay? Because here's your roll reversal, and there's your buy zone for today as a swing trader, right? And I need this. So a swing trader is thinking this, okay? In this case, it's a daily, right? It's a daily swing. Princess, how many trades do you take in a week, Wayne? Depending on the time of year and stuff, and of course I'm in grad school, so but typically in a normal market, $10 a day. Depending on what's going on in the world. So 50 a week, 200 a month. Okay. Okay. So look at bulls, look at this. Yeah, most of you don't make enough trades and your lot size is too hard on every trade, too large on every trade. You can't afford to do 10. No, I said 10. Ali says, why did wave 4? I don't count waves. I'm not saying they're wrong, Ali. I don't count waves. So what are you doing here? What are you saying? 1, 2. This doesn't look like a 3, 4. I don't know. I don't count waves, so I don't know how to do it. But, okay, we can look at some basic facts. Now, remember, basic facts. You have a bias. you've set long ago for this. Okay? That supersedes everything. If you don't have this bias, like, and here we go, trader psychology stuff, right? You don't have this preset bias, you're going to fail. If you're just making this up as you go, I don't know how often you change your point of view. Is it every hour? Is it every day? Is it like, if you don't have a solid bias, you're not going to be consistent, and therefore you're not going to have consistent results. And I doubt you're going to have, if you have inconsistent results, I doubt that your inconsistency is mostly profitable. Your inconsistency is going to be mostly not profitable. All right, so that supersedes everything. Let's say you are a hardcore bull. You've been buying Bitcoin for years. Cool. You would buy it there, you would buy it there, and you're going to buy it again here in the future. That's it. It supersedes everything. There's no guesswork, right? So if you go like old school here, you know, there's the market change, there's your entry, right? If you're trading like I always say in my book, if you're using price action, you got the up, 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 down, down. Buy, right? Up, 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 up. Down, down. Buy. Up, 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 up. Down, down. Buy. Okay? And you do that over and over and over and over and over until it stops working, at the very least. Now, over time, you will get better being able to predict when it'll stop working. But in the beginning, just do your job. You're like, well, I don't know what my job is. That's why you're not achieving the success that you believe you deserve. Because that would be impossible. Up, 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 up. Down, down. Buy. Up, 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 up. Down, down. Buy. Okay? So let's predict the future now. You're a hardcore bull. What's going to happen next? Let's predict the future. Down, down. Then what? Buy. Gone. Daniel says, but I don't know the funnies. Flip a coin. I don't care. I could teach you fundamental analysis. You could look at all the same data to me and completely disagree. And you'll probably be, and you will be right. And I look at it, of course I disagree with you. I have a different opinion. I will also be right. We will both make money. I don't care what your bias is. This is the most important thing in the world, guys. The most important thing in the world is you know what you're going to do before you do it. I don't care what it is. And I'm not talking like, you know, am I going to scalp this? No. Where's Bitcoin going in the next 12 months? Flip a coin. I really don't care. Do you know why? Because I don't know. And why would I listen to you? You don't know. You don't know jack. Where's Bitcoin going? It's going to go to 25,000. Like, whatever, dude. And someone else is, oh, Bitcoin's a scam. Dude, can you put money in it and can you cash it out? Then you can trade it. And I learned that from a professional. When I was getting my Series 3 test, where I took a class. Actually, I took 2 classes, right? Series 3 is tough. So I'm in the Series 3, and there was a young guy about my age, because I was young at that time. I don't know, what was I, 30, right? Anyways, probably even less than that. So anyways, this other young guy, and I'm like, hey man, so what's up? What's your deal, right? And he's like, oh, well, I work for whatever big bank, right? He's a bank trader. And he's like, they just hired me like 2 days ago, and they're like, take the test and then go, right? Like, just like literally, they hired him the day before. He's taking this class on the weekend, then he takes the test on Monday, and he's in. Like, but most people study for 6 months, right? And so I'm like, oh, well, so, you know, what's the trading like and all this kind of stuff? Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, he worked in the bank, but he just got he was on a different trading desk, and he needed Series 3 to do futures, and he was doing like on the stock desk or something. Anyway, so he was like in the bank, but had to get licensed to trade this other product, right? So anyways, I said, so what do you trade at the bank? He's like, anything. Like, what do you mean anything? Anything, as long as there's someone on the other side. As long as you have a counterparty, we'll take the trade. Right? So anyways, but anyway, Bitcoin, hey man, if I can put money in and it moves up and down and I can get my money out, I should be into it. But you still have to have a bias. So I don't care if you hate Bitcoin. You think it's a scam. Okay, whatever. As long as I can trade it, I'm good with it, right? So let's do that. Okay. I would start with technical analysis. Why? I've already made a decision if I'm a bull or a bear. Okay. So first of all, is this a downtrend? No. In fact, I would kind of argue that there's a bottom there, and we got something going on here, don't you think? And then I would probably recognize that there's something going on here. Okay, so there's something between 10,000 and 7,000, 6,000. Okay, there's a bottom around 6,000, right? There's a top around 10,000 and another top around 12,000. Okay, would you agree with this? It's very high level. I'm zoomed way out on the daily chart. Okay, this sets things up technically now. Kind of like that orange. Okay, there's this going on. There's no doubt. Okay, and in the future, we don't know when in the future, but there'll probably be something like this. And there's no evidence yet we're going to 20,000. That's why I kind of laugh when someone says, we're going to 25,000. Why not to 25 million, dude? Like, it's nonsense. Don't give me nonsense. Oh, well, the dollar's going to be worthless one day, and the stop it, dude. All right? Anyways. So, there's one range, there's a next range. That's all I see right now. Great. So, I can tell you, if I was a bull, where I'd buy. Generally speaking. Now, we have to get more specific, but that's the first thing. I would print this out, put it on my wall. In fact, I would print it out, frame it, and put it on my wall. So that's one of the things I'm going to start doing for you guys. I'm going to start creating, I don't know what you'd call it, maps or a framework or something, so that you can literally put it into a frame and put it on your wall. So that you stare at it every day while you're setting up your trades. You're like, how do I do this again? Like, you cannot get away from my teachings. When you're walking through the room, you're going to look at it and I'm going to train you. Okay? I'm going to step up my game. Okay? Anyways, I look at that and say, all right, can I be a bear here? Well, then great. I will now look at it from a bearish point of view. What should we do? We could look at bearish weekly bias. Okay, if I were a little bear and I were to sell this. Okay, am I at resistance? Well, we looked at that. Generally speaking, we said, no way in hell we're going to break above 10,000. Is that a true statement? Well, we don't know the future. But we can pretend we know the future, and we can plan on the future. And if we get evidence to confirm our vision of the future, then we're going to trade. At first conservatively, and then aggressively, and we're going to make a boatload of money. Okay? You understand? Or we're not going to get trades, or we will take a trade and lose a little bit. But we're going to take a shot because you can't score without shooting. Okay? So the first thing, we're above this zone, so it can't be a downtrend. So what we're thinking is, if this is a top somewhere around here, then we need to breach low. Then there's going to be some problems here, right? Okay? So one scenario is, what if it did this? Okay. Could you, would you, should you sell here? What do you think? Would you, if you were a bear, would you do that? If so, that's a trade. Are you certain you're a bear? Are you certain this is resistance? Okay. Are you going to trap it here and do the same thing as the other time frame? You see? And you just keep doing it over and over and over again. Different time frames, okay? Over and over and over again. According to my, and this is the newer version of our the swing trading tool, okay? Next projected sell zones. We're already looking at next week. What we've planned this week, which we had planned last week. So I want you to remember this, okay? We had this last week, we said we wanted to sell in this price zone when we were here. Do you understand that? Steven said he flipped a coin. He's a bear on Bitcoin. Cool. Now you're like that for the rest of the year. Okay. So last week, we said we would be a bear up here. Are you a bear? Well, we're a lot closer to 10,000. So what are you supposed to be doing now? Okay. Would you trade a double top? Okay. Or would you trade a lower high, lower low? Okay. And look at this. This is the bearish target we had last week when we were here. So your plan this week is if there's a rejection around here. Okay. We actually said it was, let's do it as if we were in last week. Last week, you said you were a bear and you wanted to sell around 9450, okay? Well, let's just call it 9,500, right? Somewhere in there. So where is 9,500? I'm just, right? Remember, I don't care about the exact price. Oh, that's not what I want. Okay? I'm looking for sell zones. I'm not looking for exact prices. In fact, especially on Bitcoin, right? It's just a number. Okay, 9,500. Great. Now, should I be aggressive here? No. Why? Because technically speaking, in our time frame, the market is bullish. You see, 21's above the 55. Right? You don't want to be a bear in a bullish market, but you can confirm and deny the entries, right? So at the very least, okay, we should expect something like this. And we're already thinking next week. Are you already thinking next week? Like, Wayne, it's Monday. I know. So if you're right here, what's going to happen this week? Right?
Incoming mail.
What the hell was that? Incoming mail? What the hell was that? Is that MetaTrader? It sounded like AOL or something. Anyways, you have to think about if you're right this week, what will be the price action? Do you think this far, guys? How far do you go in your thought process? If you are right, we have to breach the 21. Okay? We have to breach the 21. And that gets us down to here. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. 9,500. What does the 21 predict? Double top. Okay, cool. But if you're right, the double top is respected. So now bulls are going to get out, bears are going to go in. So where are we going to go? We're going to breach this. Then we're going to come up, retest it. Then we're going to hit our target. Okay? Right? Which I think could even be slightly lower. Then what? Now, for next week, of course, these next week pivots will move. So generally speaking, I have to be general now because I don't want to go so, we don't know the future support and resistance quite yet, but in general, I would expect some sort of move like this down into that area. Not this week, next week. Down into that, which is just the next level of support. How many people get that? Say yes if you get it. Say no if you don't get it. By answering, you're telling me how I've helped. And if you say no, how I need to help. Okay? I need to know how to help. I need to know what you know and what you don't know. Okay? Cool. Now, let's take this another level. And I can't ask it as a yes or no question. Well, I guess there's been enough time, so I will ask it as a yes or no question. How many people here are seriously putting that much thought into their setups? Yes or no? Yeah, I don't care your bias, Prince. That is meaningless to me. Yeah. Because not that your opinion isn't meaningful. It doesn't matter. I'd be happy for you to be right. Okay? So you guys are, huh? So you're thinking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trading days in a row and putting together the price action for that? Then very good. Right? And then print it out. Cool. If you're not doing this, these other guys are probably creaming you in the market. And you'll ask yourself every time you lose money, where does it go? You're transferring your wealth to these guys that are saying yes. They're out hustling you. In Forex, especially in the beginning, you have to be a hustler. I almost made a very big mistake in my life, and I guess I'm glad I didn't do it. But in my other house, in my other office, I had 2 glass swinging doors into my office, and I had the ceiling all coffered. I put in a kitchen with a full-size fridge and oven and microwave and everything, like, and I had a patio so I can go out and smoke cigars, and I could look through my window and watch the markets. I had this pimped out setup, right? It was really nice. Beautiful coffered ceiling, love it. And that's where I'd spend. My wife now says at that time, like, she didn't see me for years. I'm like, really? I was just in the basement. She's like, I didn't see you for years. I'm like, really? But anyways, I guess that's why you have to have a kick-ass office. So, and I got this idea, and I contacted people and everything. Above the doors, every time I walk into my office, I wanted to have a mantra. And I read somewhere, and I couldn't remember where I read it, but I thought I had read it like Augustus, right? Maximus Aurelius, I think it might have been. I thought I read it there in one of those stories, but I contacted someone, and in the big beam across the door, I wanted to carve in Latin, the work will set you free. And I'm like, that is so emotionally powerful. And I wanted it in Latin, right? And I contacted people and everything. It was Marcus Aurelius, wasn't it? So anyways, so that's what I thought. And I looked at it in Latin, and it was Maximus of somethingness of something. And like, oh my God, this is so good. I'm going to have that above my door, right? And I contacted someone to carve it and everything. And then in the last second, I found out where the saying comes from. Does anybody know? Where did it actually say that? Not the Bible. I'm so glad I didn't do it. Hint, hint, hint. I mean, it's a great saying, right? Like, the work will set you free. I'm like, that's what the secret to success in trading is, and probably all of life. Yeah, Damien's got it, but he was blocked. Yeah, Auschwitz. It's said that above the gates of Auschwitz. So when you walked in as a Jew or a prisoner, you looked up as you were going into the camp, and it said the work would set you free. And I'm like, holy shit. I almost had that carved on my own wall, like carved into the wood, and like, holy shit. Oh my God. But somehow, I don't know how to say it in a way, right? I don't know how to say it in a positive way after that. But, and this goes back to Daniel, who asked, like, I don't even know where to go, where to do, all this stuff. Here's how I would look at it if I were me. Okay? For everybody new here, I want you to realize that 95% of people fail at this. Okay? And after doing this for so long, and then being successful in other things in my life, okay, it's not the technical knowledge. Okay? It's not the technical knowledge. Okay? I was a good trader before Harvard. Great. I knew fundamentals before Harvard. Great. Okay? Great. I got a piece of paper on the wall. Good. Okay? That just proves to somebody that doesn't know me, I know what the hell I'm talking about. They're like, what do you know? I'm like, well, I have a Harvard degree in macroeconomics. Oh, well, I guess you know everything. Yeah, that's damn well. Damn right. I know everything. See? I got this piece of paper. You don't know me, but now you know I know everything. Done. Okay? Great. It just speeds up the whole process, right? But, like, managing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of salespeople at the same time. I don't mean like over my lifetime. Managing a team of 300 salespeople, over which thousands of people have walked through the door. Why are there some that just kick ass and sell? I'm paying them boatloads of money. They have the same training as everybody else. Look, here's the script. Here's what we do. Do you like our mission? Are you passionate about what we do? Yeah. Hey, Wayne, I'm going to be your number one salesperson. Good. Get on the phone. Sell it. Let's go. I'm all behind you. I'll give you anything you need. Do the work. And they don't do the work. And they can't close shit. I apologize for all this swearing today. I don't know where it came from. So why is it that most people can't do it and some people can just not easily do it, but they get the results? Why is it? Because some people know more? Generally not. Right? So my point is, usually the success comes from the work. The commitment and the work. They believe the vision, they have their own vision, They have a vision for the company. They have a vision for themselves. They have a vision for the customer. They're providing real value. They're passionate about that. They put it all together and they do their job. They do it extremely well. 95% of people barely even try. Okay? So, trading is very similar. So that's where I'd start with Daniel. You're saying he's new, he's young, oh, that doesn't know where to start, right? I would start by trying to mimic the doing part, knowing that 95% of people in this market fail because they just don't do it. So I would be aggressive in finding ways that you can build the habits of the most successful people in Forex. And do you know what they do? They just do it. Do anything, do something. Right? When I say this week you should study everything there is about the Australian dollar. Okay? And knowing at a bare minimum, I am going to be up till midnight working my ass off doing Harvard homework. You should be up till midnight working your ass off studying the Aussie dollar. If not, I out-hustle you. The work is setting me free. The Harvard degree says I'm smart. The Harvard degree says I'm a hard worker. I'm an A student. Graduated with honors. I kick Harvard students' asses, right? So that's the only thing that it means. I'm a hard worker and I'm smart enough anyways. There's people way smarter than me at Harvard. Oh my God, right? But I'm an ass kicker. So I would get to that. Start with working really, really hard, harder and harder and harder, doing everything you know an average trader would never do because they don't have the commitment, they don't have the passion, they don't have the vision, they won't even show up. Okay? Remember, people will tell you 80% of it's showing up. No. It's showing up and not sucking. So then over that time, take notes. You're there. What did it say in the statement? Right? What did they say in the statement? What economic activity did they talk about? Was it housing? Did they talk about China? Did they talk about inflation? Did they talk about exports? What did they talk about? Write those things down. What is the trend in knowledge they're sharing? What are their worries about the future? Who's having these worries? Who are the trading partners? Why are they not trading with Australia? Where's inflation? What is inflation? Why is inflation important? Why are they discussing? What things are they talking about inflation in these statements? Just write it down and you should have pages and pages and pages and pages of notes. And you don't know what any of it means. It doesn't matter because you know 95% of the market is not capable or more likely unwilling to do that kind of work. Don't worry, we'll fix the technical analysis stuff. It's not that complicated, right? We'll fix the fundamentals. It's like taking a couple of college classes and then you're boom, now you know fundamental analysis and monetary policy. Like, we can fix that, but what I can't fix is the work ethic and the passion. And imagine if you do want to run a fund one day, trading other people's money one day, are they going to give it to you because you're pretty good at technical analysis? No, because you're the hard worker, you're passionate, you're a visionary, you can clearly articulate your point of view. Why? Because you've done 100,000 hours of work that most people are unwilling or incapable of doing. Oh, everything's in the price. You don't have to know anything about economic activity and central banking policies around the world. Like, what kind of moron would say that? Now, look, I'm being larger in life and I'm threatening other people's point of view. I'm not doing it to shut them down. I'm trying to do this to capture your vision. How could you possibly consider yourself an expert in the global foreign exchange market and then say, oh, but I don't do any economic analysis? You're like, really? So you have no idea why money would cross a border and whether that the rate is increasing or decreasing. Like, who could possibly say that and consider themselves an expert? They're an expert in half the market. What kind of electrician says, I know everything about the black wire, but I don't know nothing about the red wire? What happens to that guy? He gets fried. Oh, well, I know everything you need to know about the black wire. Yeah? I mean, come on. What kind of plumber knows everything to know about water flow, but ignores airflow? Do you know what happens? The water stops flowing through your pipes. Right? Most people here don't know that airflow is the most important thing in plumbing, not water flow. The water just follows the air. But anyways, like imagine it. You're an expert at half of your industry. It means you don't even understand the basics of how it works. But if you're trying to sell something to an amateur, it's great to say, oh, you don't need to understand all the complex stuff. You just need to follow this MACD indicator and it'll make all the decisions for you. And now you can party on the yacht. What? Really? MACD is going to lead the way. Don't worry about the hard stuff. It's all about the easy stuff. Are you nuts? Okay? So I'm trying to like wake up, right? The reality of it. We can do the technical analysis. I'll make you really good. I'll make you very, very good at technical analysis. I promise you that. You put in the time, the money, and the effort, I got lots of answers for you. Fundamentals. I will fix this. You will be smarter than this degree above me. I'm not kidding. Because this degree didn't teach me much. Very esoteric. The only thing I learned is how to keep going. Keep working. Keep going. Just get through it. Just do the work. That's all it shows is I can get through it no matter how horrible it is. I'm in restaurants, I'm in meetings, I'm watching my kids play musical concerts, and I'm doing Harvard homework. Okay? You see what I mean? That's it. So fundamentals, you can learn it. Technicals, you can learn it. But you better have the passion and the discipline. Okay? So this is not complicated to say if you were a bear, there's tons of resistance in here. Okay? I showed you that. Everybody said yes. Great. So do you have a trade plan? What's the trade plan? Okay? Put it all together. Okay? Yeah. Lazy people do not get rich. If you're thinking rich right now, you want to be rich one day, great. Lazy people don't get rich. They just don't. Okay? You're not going to get rich being lazy. You will not. Okay? So, we're at this point where we should know that that's what bears are planning. We should also know that this is what bulls are planning. How many can see that? They can see what the bears are going to do, and they can see what the bulls are going to do. Okay? So, this is advantageous for you. You know what you're going to do before you do it, but you also know what your enemy is going to do. Now, think of the art of war. This is an important piece, right? You know what the bulls are going to do. You know what the bears are going to do. It's important because you know what side you're on. You know what your team is going to do. But you've studied the tapes. You've studied what the other team is likely to do. And you can now prepare. Okay? Stefan says, I prefer bears. It doesn't even matter. Now, the part that does matter is currently under these market conditions, this is still more bullish than bearish on this time frame, right? So you should say, I'm a bear but these are not bearish market conditions. Okay. Ryan, you're not ready. Take a second job and save money, right? So you're saving up to it. You're not ready. Wait till the end of the year or something. Okay. Right. The cost of the swing trading group should be like nothing, right? It should be like a no-brainer. You know, it's not a lot of money. It's a commitment, yes, but the money shouldn't be a big deal. If it is, you need to work on that, right? Work on your stack, because at some point we want you to trade, right? And you should have a stack for that. But anyways, right? Right. So you threw me off here. You threw me off. You threw me off. Oh, right? Let's go through the mantra here. Okay. I'm a bear. I don't like Bitcoin. Okay. Therefore, I need to confirm I'm not alone. I need to log in to my charts on whatever time frame I want to use to analyze this. I like the 4 hour. It's not too long. It's not too short. Okay. That basically gives me what will happen the rest of the week when I'm on, right? When I'm on the 4 hour. Steele says I flipped it. I flipped a coin. I'm not saying that's all right? I'm just teaching you what you need to do, Steele. Okay? I flipped a coin, I grabbed it, I'm a bear. Okay, now I'm a bear the rest of the year. I'm a bear the rest of the year. Okay, cool. So, I'm envisioning market conditions that I want. What do I want? I want down, 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 up, up, sell. Down, 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 up, sell. Down, 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 up, sell. Do I have that? Yes or no? No. So I am conservative. It doesn't mean I can't sell. I can only sell at resistance. Okay? I like to use price. I like to use market. That's what the pivots are. These are weekly pivots. Okay? So I got my price, I got my weekly, and then on a smaller time frame, maybe price action. But I still need to know where the bulls are going to buy. Okay? I know they're going to buy there. Why do I know that? Let me show you. Here's what bulls are thinking. Okay? Swing trading, bullish weekly bias. Why does it change the zoom when I do it? Come on, Bubba. Okay? So I just drew for you. This is what a bull is thinking. There we go. Okay? That is what a bull's going to do. And if I'm a bear, I need to know that. Do you understand? I know what the bulls are going to do before they do it. So, trading down up here, is that conservative or aggressive as a bear? Should you be cautious or should you be aggressively selling? Okay. Cool. Now, if you're a bull, okay, you're going to take this, right? Are you aggressive or are you conservative? In its cynic, no, you should not be aggressively selling. You should never aggressively sell in something that, in a market that's still technically bullish. Should I be aggressively buying or cautiously buying? Type in a question mark if you don't know. Grind says, yeah, solid advice. Have your startup capital set aside first. Yes. Okay, you cannot be undercapitalized in any business. The answer is cautious, guys, because the 55's in control still. Okay? So check this out. It's actually predicting this at the moment. If we drop down to the 55 is predicting this. So, if we're over here now, should a bear be aggressive or conservative? More aggressive here than here. But now you're trading a double top off of, and remember, all of this started with massive resistance. So you certainly could be more aggressive. Bears are likely to get out. Okay? And now you'll have something like that in the next few, right? Because we're going to now take this data and go ba 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 ba. Okay? Da 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 da. And we have the down, 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 up, up, sell, down, 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 breach through this. Then there'll be an up, 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 sell. And now you're aggressively selling, taking back what was once yours. Once again, Dr. Jones, what was briefly yours is now mine. Yeah. Heath, because it's a Fibonacci number. Correctamundo. Not only is it, so don't get hung up on the numbers. The numbers don't matter, guys. This is a long-term moving average. Okay? That's all that matters. If you want to use the 233 or the 300, it'll work just as good. Don't care about the numbers. The numbers are meaningless. Okay? This only represents, and this is much more important than the number, fair market value. Okay? So it'll be around here. If this comes down, this will kind of drop and flatten. So what's your takeaway? One, have a bias. I don't care how you get it. It doesn't even matter. There is no wrong bias. But I am certain you will not have a successful career if you don't have a bias. Second of all, you use technical analysis, right? First and foremost, to confirm market conditions are congruent, are favorable for your bias. Meaning, If you're a bear, you sell rallies in a downtrend. And when it's an uptrend, you do nothing. What if you only traded 27 of the 52 weeks this year? But in those weeks, you sold and the market fell. You sold, the market fell. You sold, the market fell. Then the market tightens up and you stop trading for 3.5 weeks. Then the market falls and you sell. Imagine that. At the end of the year, you will have low volatility, you'll have consistent results, you'll have consistent bias, and you will be profitable. Now you show that to someone that has money. Okay? They're like, oh, look at that. Consistent, low volatility, and a return I can count on. Are you okay with that vision? NP says even a weak currency needs to be purchased at some point during the year. Yes, based on business. Based on business. Okay? How many people here remember in December I told you stocks like Apple are going to skyrocket, and because of that, they're going to fall? There's going to be rebalancing. Traders are going to, in January, they're going to have too much Apple. How many people remember that particular Apple? Because I used it as the example. I said people, fund managers told their clients the maximum amount of the portfolio they're allowed to have in one individual stock is 5%. So earlier in the year, they bought 5% of Apple. Then they're going to find themselves at the end of the year, in January, and Apple's doubled. Apple has doubled. And they're like, oh my God, 10% of our portfolio is Apple. It's doubled. What are they going to do? They're going to sell it. They have to. It's a mandate. They're mandated to sell it. Why? Because it's gone up so much. So I said, great. Now they have to decide where to put it. Well, because everyone got out of it, it's going to drop 10 or 20%. But do you guys remember? I said create a list of the things you want to buy right now, but can't afford. You want to buy Apple, but not at this price. But you might if it drops 10 or 20%. Does anyone remember these conversations from like October and November and December? I used it to explain why the market's going to drop and why the market's going to create the false rally. And it's called rebalancing. Yes, the pound, you guys should know all this. The pound is weak. You should be trading it. Okay? Oh, but by the way, fundamental analysis is worthless. You should just look at price and say, well, I guess now it's got to do this other thing. It's the fourth wave, dude. It's the fourth wave. You should risk your fortunes on it. So anyways, yeah, pound. Of course the pound's weak, guys. NP's doing international financial management. That's cool. Cool. Let's look at pound very quickly and see how complicated it is. Are you a bull or a bear? Okay. This is the weekly sell zone for bears. This is the monthly sell zone for bears. Great. Next. Okay, let's look at this. This is the weekly and monthly sell zone for bears. Next. Okay. This is the weekly and monthly sell zone for bears. Next. Bleep. If I said it dead a minute. All my life I want a Grammy, never get it. Yeah. Anyways. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm a bear. Weekly sell zone. Done. Here's the monthly sell zone. Done. Okay. Next. Okay, I'm a bear, right? I'm a bear, right? I'm a bear, right? I'm a bear, right? Let's see. Roll reversal, lower low, lower high, weekly sell zone, take the shot, done. Next. Okay, let's see if it works in reverse. I'm a bear, monthly and weekly buy zone, done. Next. That's 6 trades. It should have taken you about 1 minute of analysis on every single trade. Done. Easy if you have a bias. You understand? If you have a bias, that was easy. On the exact moment of the exact day that you should be there, you're selling at 132.02, the first minute of trading of the week. You know you should be doing this. Oh, but the Super Bowl. On the very first minute the market opened, you had weekly and monthly swing sell zones. On the first minute of the first hour of the first day of trading the month and the week, you had both weekly and monthly sell zones. If you had a bias, then you would have sold it. If you had a bias, yo, outsold it. Wow, that sounded like vanilla ice, right? This one is not as perfect. You were about 5 pips off. Cool. Did you have the monthly cluster? No. Not as perfect, but again, you should have been at your charts right during a pre-game open. You should have been at your charts. This is the exact weekly price a bear would want to sell, and it happened at the exact minute, on the exact day of the exact week, at the first of the month. Take the shot. Done. Lock up your charts. Go watch the football game. At the exact minute of the exact hour on the first day of the month, first day of the week, market opens. If you're a bear on the pound, you had the exact right price. You should have taken it. What do we do now? Some people, most people are now done trading the entire week. Maybe in this case, and this case, the entire month of February. They've locked in their profits at break even and they are done. Or you can just log in like, where's the next trade? Where's the next trade? Where's the next trade? Oh my God, look at ISM. Woo! Where were you? I did a video from the freeway. Be ready. Do your job. Don't be distracted by what normal people do. You're going to drown in mediocrity. Commit. Commit. How many videos did I make while I was on the road? Hours and hours and hours of video. Very, very, very inconvenient. Extremely inconvenient. But I'm committed. You got to commit. You got to commit. It's not the technical analysis holding you back. It's not the fundamentals holding you back. It's not that you haven't found the right MACD. Switching from MACD to RSI to CCI is not going to save you. Oh, Wayne's new pivot point tool will save me. No, it won't. You have to commit and you have to work harder than anybody else in the game. The interesting thing is, Most people are lazy. They won't even try. I'm not saying you, I'm talking about the 95%. You have to be like 1% more committed to be better than 95% of the 95% failure, right? Which we know you guys are there, but you got to take it up. There's more to it than being more committed than the 95% that fail. That just keeps you from failing. Okay? But you have to look at this. Is this a legitimate business for you? Can you do this as a living, take care of yourself, your spouse, your children, your loved ones? Then get in the game hard. Hard. Okay? Don't let it slip. Drop the mic. You can't be a lazy concert pianist. You can't be a lazy professional golfer. If you like athleticism, you look at the top players. Is it difficult to get into the NBA? Yeah, 95% of people fail. When you get to the NBA, does that mean you're going to be a star player? No. Anyone that's a big, whether you're talking about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, right? James. They're all talented people. But they're the hardest working people in the league as well. That's what it takes to be a superstar. I want you to be a superstar. Or, what an amazing thing to do when you're retired. What an amazing thing to do while you're retired. What an amazing thing to do when you're retired. You're on a cruise ship and you can still earn money. Oh, but you got to work an hour a day while you're on the cruise ship. I always work when I'm on the road. Always. You understand? It's a blessing. It's an advantage. What an amazing thing to do when you're retired. You're like, I don't want to scalp all day. I'm an old man. I don't want to sit in front of my charts for 8 hours and then die and say, what did you do with the last 20 years on earth? I sat in front of a chart. That's not living. So you better know how to swing trade. What did you do this week? Oh, I sold the monthly pivots. I knew when to be at my chart. I live in Florida, so I know it's 6 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. I sit down and by 7 p.m. on Sunday, I'm done for the week. Sometimes I'm done for the month. And I let all my winners run and run and run. I'm retired, but my money works for me day and night. Money never sleeps. I have an army of money that is relentless. How could you give that up by not trying hard enough? Oh my gosh. How could you give that up? I don't care if you're 18 or 80. How could you give that up because you didn't try hard enough? Right? If you were on a cruise ship, would you work an hour a day? Open up your laptop, maybe go to the cafe, Your spouse, your children, they're still sleeping. You get up a little earlier, walk down to the cafe, get yourself a cappuccino, and you sit down, you pop open your laptop, and you check the markets. You do your job, and you get her done. And by the time you're done your cappuccino, you can go back and give your spouse a kiss when they open their eyes. You're like, I took care of us. We're good. Let's go have a kick-ass day. Anybody want that? It's not a dream, bro. It's not a dream. But you got to wake up. Don't let it slip through your hands. My God, to give up that because you didn't work hard enough, that would be horrible. What a horrible, horrible, horrible thing to do. What a horrible thing to do. So I hope you're willing to fight for it. I really do. So let me ask you, maybe you ask yourself, are you willing to do it? For a lack of a better saying, do you understand the work will set you free? It's not that you have to be smart enough. Oh, I'm not that smart. Right? It's not about that. Or how much money you have. Oh, it's just a small trade. I'll throw it down and see what happens. No, that's not what it is. Are you willing to commit and do the work? Are you willing to make not just the 95% of people that fail at this as amateur retail traders? You're not there to beat them. They're going to fail without you. With or without you, they're going to fail. But can you get from like the bottom of the 5% to maybe, can you be the top 4%? That's a big jump. You better be a hard worker and do all the work, not just technicals, all of it. This is a career. This is a business. This takes knowledge and skill and passion. Are you willing to do the work? Yes or no?